So again, my name is Collin Nielson. I'm the director of GPL for Connecticut operations. So oversee about 10 to 14 crews that work throughout the state installing gas mains and services. I'd like to thank Christopher Trolley and Dan Nevison for inviting us here today. I can tell you it's not because we are perfect and do not have damages, because that is not the case. I'd like to say that it's because of our intent and our drive to always be better at what we do as far as excavators. With that, I'm going to I'll bring all the pieces together from the first three presentations. This is where it comes together with excavation. So I'm going to review digging, hand digging, protecting the facility once you found it, and then backfilling it and protecting it during that operation too, and some of the best practices that we use as a company and that I've seen over the years as a gas installer. Hand digging, a lot of effort. It has changed over the years. We hand excavate all gas utilities, all propane, water, everything is hand excavated by our crews. We've changed our crew formats. We've adapted to the modern trend, and it's labor intensive. It is not going to be replaced by AI anytime soon. It's a lot of work. And then the key thing is getting benefit from all that work. The worst thing that could happen is you put in all that effort and then damage the facility after. Connecticut state law says you can remove the asphalt and the concrete over a gas facility, and then the work begins. Before you even get there, you've reviewed the job site, as I believe Brendan went over. A lot of pieces already. So you've already reviewed your job site, you removed your asphalt and your concrete. You now have a tolerance zone. You start digging, hand digging at the process. If you're off-road, no mechanized equipment at all. You're hand digging from the beginning. That limit of hand digging is 18 inches either side of the facility, either from the edge or half the distance of the pipe diameter. As Brendan pointed out, the pipe diameter should always be marked on the road, and if it's not, you can ask that question to him and his mark-out team.
Call me.
Example of hand digging. You see that there's a trench line cut here with a gas facility within the vicinity. So you see the saw cut mark here, the saw cut here. The 4-inch gas steel main is marked out. So 2 inches off the center of the gas main and 18 inches off that to the right, to the east. That would be your tolerance zone. Unfortunately for this crew, that's a lot of hand excavation.
Hit space bar. There you go.
All right, so there's our gas main. That's our hand digging area. That's all hand excavation from the top down to uncover that. So what this shows me is from this saw cut mark over, roughly 10, 12 inches of material, once that asphalt's gone, that's all hand excavation because this proposed water main runs parallel with it. This goes into laying out your job, preparing for this, and not putting yourself in a position like that where hand excavation is needed, or that quantity of hand excavation is not needed. Again, 40 inches total if you're crossing it horizontally. This is a good example of what one of our gas jobs may look like and how we approach it. So in the morning we walk the job, we refreshen the marks. So you see the gas marks are nice and bright. We've refreshed what was already written there. We don't add any descriptors. We use the right color. We use the yellow to identify it. And then once the asphalt's peeled, we began hand excavation over all the gas and water services. A best practice that we utilize is, we call it property line to property line. So in residential areas, if we dig down where the mark is, don't find the gas service, we do not start machine excavation past the property line of that house until we've contacted Eversource and tell them that we couldn't find the gas service on the mark where we thought it was. Reason being is the gas service, there's probably likely a gas service to the house. Eversource knows that. They have a meter number, they have bills and things to prove that. If it's not on that mark, it's likely to come in somewhere within the property line. Not always, it can even come in outside of the property line, but that's a rare case. Once the gas facility is found, or once the gas facility is spotted, is it okay to start digging with the machine? Can I dig within that area right up to it? Absolutely not. That tolerance zone needs to be respected throughout the duration of work. You do not find the gas facility, hand shovel, dig down and find it, and then you can clear out over the top, because that's how facilities are damaged. For example, what went wrong? Someone put a lot of effort in digging down to this location right here to find the gas main. Well, the excavator thought they were clear. They knew how deep that gas main was. Oh, it's 45 inches deep. I can dig down to 35 and not hit anything. Well, I can tell you there's a lot of these. Service tees, offsets, gas mains come up over at the utilities, and that's where a lot of damages happen. An example, all right, I got this market on the road. Where am I going to dig? I'm going to plan it out. It looks like I'm pretty clear right here down in this area, right? I got a 4-inch plastic gas main running that way, and I got coming off the 6-inch plastic gas main. So I dig down, I do a hand hole right here on the center, on the T, because I'm going to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. I'm going to find my 4-inch elevation, I'm going to find my 6-inch, make sure everything matches up. First red flag I have, that's not a 4-inch pipe going that way. That may in itself be a phone call to the gas company asking for clarification on what they marked out. Well, I keep digging. I think I'm clear. I didn't reference the size of the material to the size of the road, but I think I found what they meant. Dig here? Sure. Found my pipe. That's an inline branch tee that comes off the side of the gas main and feeds that 4-inch main. It's pretty hard to paint on the road. I'm going to give the markout guy a little bit of a break, or woman, but that's what you can find there. And that's not just at tie-in locations. That could be anywhere near a gas facility. Example. So, a sip of water on this one. I think it's maybe a GPL photo. So, hand digging. Obviously, Connecticut, we dig in all different materials. Hard pan, rock right underneath the gas services. Was reasonable caution used? Well, you can see there was no bucket or excavator marks within that facility or near that facility, right? The crew was putting in effort to hand dig. We use digging bars, shovels, picks, things like that. Sometimes there's hard material right up to the gas service, or you have 6 inches or 8 inches of nice soft sand above it, so as soon as you get through the hard stuff, the bar continues forward, and you break right through that thin pipe wall. Very thin. I've seen them severed by shovels, picks, all kinds of things. So, the moral of the story is care and caution. Take your time. Open that excavation up all the way, hand dig across it. Do damages happen? Absolutely. This could, even worst case, potentially electric. Hand digging around electric lines, same thing. You break that coating, you risk shock, electrocution. Another thing that I wanted to bring up that's not mentioned on the slide is once you found that facility, how are we indicating it to our operator to say, hey, we found this, and what's my spotter doing? I've seen a lot of cases where the spotter takes his shovel, places it against that plastic gas service, and says, okay, you can dig from the back of my shovel out that way. Well, 2 things are bad. 1, it's still within that 18-inch tolerance zone of the gas service. And 2, I've seen the shovel push through many gas services. So we're just exercising reasonable care. We're not just dropping augers anywhere, just excavating recklessly. We're taking the precautions, we're verifying marks, we're making sure we don't break utilities when we're out there. This example, was reasonable care used? Questionable. You see a telephone pole there, a new guardrail was installed. You see marks, a handhole should have been dug, a handhole was not dug. The post for the guardrail was driven into the ground, which in turn, the guardrail was installed. Customer called Eversource or the electric company stating that intermittent power. After investigation, the pole was severed, the post severed the service lateral, the electric service lateral for the residents, in turn electrifying the guardrail. A lot of risk, a lot of danger in that one. Could have been as simple as a handhole, discussion about relocating the post location, making an adjustment. Using reasonable care continued. Never assume the direction. As we mentioned before, the gas mains and services don't go straight. They're not always perfectly level. They're not all at 24 inches or 36 inches. You can peel the asphalt and see a gas service. It's been seen, it's been done. Utilizing the mole, you think that mole or trenchless excavation, as mentioned by Sean, sometimes that mole travels right below the concrete or asphalt. So as you pull that concrete or asphalt out, there's your gas service. In this scenario, the marks were not offset. So you see no more visible gas marks. So the marks should have been transpired over to the asphalt that wasn't being excavated. You see the gas meters up here in the upper left-hand corner. There's even a gas valve in the sidewalk. So the excavator assumed that at that point, they assumed the service came out straight. Well, it doesn't. That's the assumption. That's the actual location. And at that point, the service was damaged, putting the public at risk in the excavator. We saw this photo earlier. Brendan had it on his as far as a markup. You see the electric conduit or telephone conduit is, a lot of effort was put in to uncover that, expose it, not damage it, and then the machine was tracked over it. A lot of things could have been different. The cost of that is not something anyone wants to deal with, the cost, the risk, and then the extra effort to make the repairs. What could have been done, could have put a steel plate over it, dispersed the load of the excavator, could have backfilled that section, went over it. You have to protect what you find. You put all the effort into it, take care and caution with it afterwards. In this case, you see the effort went into finding that water main in the lower right corner. So during excavation, no one realized that that concrete curb was undermined and breaking away from the edge. We've seen this a lot in our gas trenches, which are typically 3 to 4 feet off the curb line. That curb fell in and damaged the water main, causing a major leak. What could have been done is the concrete could have been preemptively removed and secured, or it could have been backfilled in that area to protect the water main. Could have put sand and material over the water main prior to crossing and protected it from the potential of the falling concrete or granite curb, excuse me. So you've uncovered a utility. You plan to expose X amount of feet of it. There are special precautions that you need to take especially when supporting gas facilities. If you think you need to, or you will have the potential to influence cast iron gas mains, plastic gas mains, you need to reach out to Eversource or the gas company that's in your area and discuss that with them, because there's different methods for supporting. Cast iron's brittle. It'll crack. You expose enough of it, the bell joints will begin to leak. It could crack all the way around, and then you're going to be dealing with a major gas leak. You can see in this case they use the iron I-beam and then supported it with straps. Eversource will determine and tell you and guide you along with the spacing of those straps, the spacing of the beams. That's provided by the utility company. Back to trenchless excavation. In this case, you have to uncover every utility that trenchless excavation will be crossing. These are your sight holes. This is where you watch your tool pass the utility to ensure you didn't damage it. One thing not noted on here, make sure you use measurements. Measure the length of your shot and mark your tool. The worst thing that can happen is you see that narrow trench is about 1 foot wide. If your tool veers one direction and you don't have a mark, you could be impacting that utility that you hand dug in the hole a couple feet over to the right or the left of where you exposed it.
Yes.
Backfilling. Believe it or not, Eversource and other utilities go to a lot of damages that happen after contractors leave. Proper backfilling, make sure when you're backfilling around gas utilities, you're putting sand back. You're compacting below it. The gas services, they're very flexible. A lot of the T's will fracture and crack at the chimney. when the sand and material is not compacted below it. Our qualifications for installing gas pipe, that's a key thing as far as what we're trained on doing. It's hand tamped, compacted around there, supporting it before more layers of backfill go on. On top of the quality material, before you begin mechanical compaction, you want to make sure you have enough protection and cover over that gas pipe or that other utility that may be fragile. So for the gas compaction, it doesn't start until you have a minimum of 8 inches of, you want a minimum of 8 inches compacted sand. So once you put about a foot of sand on there, then you begin compaction. And again, you want to watch out for those service tees because they're higher than your gas mains. So make sure you're not impacting service tee or other piece that comes off the gas main with your mechanical backfill and compaction. And then again, installing warning tape. Replace the warning tape or acquire warning tape from one of the gas companies. Maintaining marks. It's our responsibility. For the duration of that dig ticket, we have to maintain them, and we're allowed to freshen them up, offset them, and if you at any point you lose your marks, for whatever reason, snow, plowing, debris, it happens, no fault of our own. The gas company or the other utilities will come out and help you remark for you. This is a best practice. This is one we use. It's not enforced as a requirement by law, but you can see right there the gas service and the water service clearly marked. The reason this is helpful for us, it shows we found it, one. This is a great visual for an operator that might have limited visuals from the seat of the machine. This helps everybody. This lets everyone on the crew know that it was found. Dan can walk onto one of our jobs and say, they found the gas service and they found the water service. There's no questions. Dan moves on and goes on to the next task. This shows due diligence and care. Some other contractors like to use colored cones in place, also a good practice. Once you have that utility, some use the cones pre-excavation. So before you pull your asphalt, some contractors will place all the colors down the road over the utility crossing that they have. Works both ways, but once you find it, then you put it on the actual location and it just brings awareness around the utility. Another tool that we have outside of hand digging, because I think you saw gauge stations and regulator stations and all the other sensing lines that come off of those. One of the first photos we saw today was the electric, all those electric marks and the task of digging around there. Well, there is vacuum excavations. We have a close relationship, GPL, with Badger, who's in the back here. There's other vacuum vendors out here. This is what we utilize. I talked about the effort and the challenges of hand digging around these gas utilities. We have gas services that are sitting on ledge. Well, I got to put my new gas main, 1 foot below that now. So obviously I can't hand dig all that, and Badger may not be able to help us in that case, but they can help us with some of the harder excavations where there's congestion, downtown areas, daylighting and spotting all those utilities as we go through. Sometimes we'll pre-do this before we even start a job. It's very helpful, and then when we backfill, we put all loose sand on there, compact it, and we know where that service is.
Okay, great. Thank you very much, Collin.